All right, so this of course is a major cause of concern not just for the region, but in fact across the world. And to discuss the ramifications of what this little conflict actually means, we are joined in by two guests. Firstly, I'm joined by Major General Ashwani Siwach, who is a defence analyst, who's joining me in the studio. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us here. And I'm also joined by Air Marshal Anil Chopra, who is an ex-commander, Miraj Squadron, who's joining us live from New Delhi. General, let me begin with you. You know, in a conflict like this, where India and Pakistan, India carried out what were described as preemptive non-military strikes. These were on a terror camp. Now, Pakistan, of course, has responded by trying to target military installations in India. Is this even legal under international law?
Absolutely correct. It is not legal. First of all, let us see what we did. As far as India is concerned, we have been telling Pakistan, stop this cross-border terrorism. And what they did in Pulwama was beyond anyone's expectation. So they are not all Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toba are freely operating from Pakistan. They have been a strategic asset for Pakistan Army and IAF.
Absolutely.
And they have been sending them, and the terror is being unleashed in Jammu and Kashmir. Time and again it has been told, kindly put a rein on them. Now Pulwama attack was the last straw, where 40 CRPF personnel were killed. So India had no choice but to act with might. Now this Balakot, which was selected, was so well selected, one, that this was a training camp where there were 250 to 300 terrorists.
Absolutely.
There were about 25 terrorists which were the leaders, including two brothers of Masood Azhar and one brother-in-law. And 18 chaps who were trained as Fidain. So they were all preparing for a next action in India. So this was a preemptive move. This Balakot training camp was located in a jungle, away from any civil area. So there were no collateral damage. And second issue is that we made a strategic, you can say, appreciation that Pakistan was expecting that we will hit them somewhere in POK. Whereas we have gone head of
deep
POK,
into their territory,
deep inside Pakistan, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And recently, almost 70 to 80 terrorists have moved there, thinking that is a safe haven.
Absolutely. So that was on the basis of intelligence into that.
So the intelligence was basically a satellite intelligence. We had artificial intelligence, and it was corroborated by human intelligence.
Absolutely.
And the target so well selected, and the target was neutralized. Almost 200 to 250 terrorists were killed. Now the issue is, we are sending a message that enough is enough. We will not tolerate this cross-border terrorism. The whole world is with us. Today, Pakistan stands isolated. You know, there is no friend as far as Pakistan except China.
You know, we will discuss that, but let me also try get in Air Marshal Anil Chopra. Air Marshal, now, the fact of the matter is, since India carried out what was described as its second surgical strike on Pakistan, there is a lot that has happened where Pakistan has responded. Now, one of our pilots is also in the custody of Pakistan. How do you see this situation actually going forward? Will India now respond?
Firstly, I must tell you that India has shown extreme amount of maturity. After 30 years of restraint, finally we decided to strike deep into Pakistan. And when we decided to strike, we struck only the military target, terrorist targets, no military, no civilian targets.
Absolutely.
We used Mirage 2000 aircraft, we used precision weapons, which have close, good accuracy. And thereafter we struck. And immediately after the strike, our Foreign Secretary made an announcement to the public and to the entire world that we have struck only the legitimate terrorist targets. A great amount of maturity and restraint. And see what Pakistan, how they reacted to it. They chose to react with a strike into our territory with no legitimate targets. And sure enough, they were intercepted. They could not come more than 5 to 7 kilometers. And in the dogfight that ensued, one of their aircraft, F-16, was shot down. Unfortunately, one of our aircraft also was downed, and our pilot had to eject. Now,
Right.
see what they have done thereafter. See the lack of maturity on their side. Firstly, they start showing the pictures and videos of the pilot. Obviously, the pilot has been injured. It appears that the injuries are not from ejection. Somebody might have actually harmed him.
Absolutely.
Geneva Convention is very clear. You cannot, once the soldier or the pilot has been caught by you, you have to follow some rules and regulations. The pilot himself, we have seen some of the videos that got circulated by the Pakistani establishment,
Right.
Has maintained Geneva Convention by saying only his name and service number and the minimum amount of information that was required. So right now for us, one big event, of course, while diplomatically and militarily we keep putting pressure on Pakistan, first important thing is to get the pilot back. And I must mention to you about the pilot because the pilot's name and details are already in public domain. He is the son of a military fighter pilot of the Indian Air Force. His wife is a helicopter pilot from Indian Air Force. So it's a family of aviators. They have made big sacrifices for this country. And I am so happy that the entire country and the world community is backing his immediate return. And we hope that Pakistan will follow the Geneva Convention. They will not harm the pilot and they will not torture him, and that the pilot will be handed over to India at the earliest.
Absolutely indeed, Air Marshal. The fact of the matter is, the pilot who is presently in the custody of Pakistan, Pakistan has put out at least 5 videos of the capture of the pilot and also his subsequent treatment. Now, this essentially is a propaganda war. So, WION has chosen not to use the videos that are being put out by the Pakistani establishment. But Air Marshal, the question that I want to ask you in a scenario like this is, considering the fact that you've also been the ex-commander of the Mirage Squadron, Pakistan for its part has denied that it used the F-16s. But the Indian establishment sources, highly placed sources, have confirmed that it is indeed the F-16s that were used by Pakistan to carry out this operation. And one of the F-16s was also shot down. Now, my question to you is, India responded by scrambling its MiG-21 jets. What is the SOP in a scenario like this? The minute, an enemy fighter jet is picked up on the radar, what is the SOP? Give us a sense of how this kind of a situation is responded to by the Indian Air Force.
Firstly, I must tell you that the Pakistani establishment has been denying from the word go that one of their aircraft has been shot. But we know they have been telling lies ever since in the last 2 days. They first said that 2 of our planes had been down. It was much later in the day that they said it was only 1 plane. Now we are very clear that the second plane, they themselves seem to be indirectly acknowledging was their own aircraft. Time will tell, some more proof will come out as to the F-16 has been shot. Whosoever has shot, whichever plane has shot that aircraft would have a radar picture, it would have been filmed, and all those things will come in due course of time. Now, I must tell you, as far as the MiG-21 Bison is concerned, I was the team leader of this upgrade program in Russia myself. I have looked at this aircraft very closely. It has got a modern air-to-air radar. It has got R-73 close combat missile, and it has got the world-class RWE R-77 beyond visual range missile. It is not for us sitting in the studios to decide as to what aircraft will be used and what action will the Indian Air Force take. But obviously the Indian Air Force must have had these aircraft at operational readiness platforms. And now let me tell you about the radar cover. In the Pakistan area, India has exceptionally good radar cover. We have an aerostat which is looking 400 kilometers deep into Pakistan territory. We have got an AWACS which have been flying, we are told. And also there are radars on mountain tops in J&K which are looking deep into the Pakistan territory. Immediately after aircraft gets airborne in Pakistan territory, we can spot it. We have adequate warning time and we can scramble our aircraft from whichever bases in northern Punjab or in J&K. And that is the reason why intrusion has perhaps not been possible. We have caught the Pakistani aeroplanes just next to the border. They had not. They were trying to head in the Rajouri area. and within 5-6 kilometers of intrusion, they were chased back, and in the chase they shot the F-16, and our pilot also got hit.
Absolutely, indeed. That is a very significant point. Major General, let me bring you in on this. The fact of the matter is there is a new normal, because never since the 1971 war have we seen the Indian Air Force being used. Now, Pakistan is now willing to play this game. The fact of the matter is it still has not acknowledged that it was the Jaish camps who were hit. Now, if it were to acknowledge that it was the Jaish camps who were hit, and they are responding to India because they are now defending effectively the terrorists. So this is quite clearly a acceptance of the fact by Pakistan that they are willing to protect these terrorists who they now consider as assets of their state.
Absolutely correct. They consider it as a strategic asset. Very rightly said. Even after Pulwama attack, we have been telling that this is a handiwork of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Jaish-e-Mohammed has itself accepted that, owned up that we are the one which we have conducted this operation. Yet Pakistan refused to accept it. Pakistan is asking for proof. What proof they want, we gave it in 26/11. What did they do? They never produced it in the court. So it is a eyewash and totally a hog. So therefore, as far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan considers Jaish-e-Mohammed as a strategic asset, and it protects it. The camp which was there in Balakot was run by ISI. Along with Jaish-e-Mohammed. So therefore, very cleverly, they have now disowned. They said that you have not able to hit any camp. There is no camp. There is no Jaish-e-Mohammed which is
if this is what they are saying, that we've not been able to hit any camp, then what are they responding for? Why would they want to send across their jets and try target India's military installations?
So the lie is already caught. The point is that in case if the Indian planes have gone in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and not able to hit any target, then where is the question of their responding it? Therefore, so there is no doubt that Pakistan is known for telling lies. They are master of telling lies. No one believes in the world. The US has been passing warning after warning. Imagine, for 15 years they have given them $33 billion, $1.3 billion per year. And what they have done is that they were supporting Haqqani group and the Taliban, who was fighting against America. So the money which was coming from America was given to Haqqani group and Taliban to fight against America. So this is the way Pakistan can do. Pakistan is very difficult to change Pakistan, because here the deep state rules. It is the Pakistan army, and ISI called the shot.
We'll discuss that. But meanwhile, India has also issued a statement to the United Nations Human Rights Council on its preemptive military strike on the terror camps in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and the global support that it has got in the wake of the Pulwama terror attack. Now, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Rajiv K. Chander, has thanked the United Nations and also the nations that have expressed support for India and have condemned the dastardly Pulwama terror attack. Referring to Pakistan, India has said that all collective measures to deal with terrorism have been thwarted repeatedly by the Pakistani government. Now, India has also highlighted as to how all appeals to Pakistan to act against terror camps on its soil have gone completely in vain, with Pakistan not living up to its promise of dismantling the Jaish-e-Mohammed camps and also holding the terrorists accountable for their nefarious actions. Now, India has said that while doing so, Pakistan has in fact violated its 2004 commitment of not allowing the Pakistan-controlled territory to be used for spreading and fomenting terror. Now, ending its statement, India has further reiterated that it has and still remains committed towards meaningful engagement with international organizations as well as with other sides.